Mapayapang hapon, Pilipinas! Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Macuja Elizalde, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH Radio at sa mga nanonood sa DZRH TV, lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Sa hapong ito, makikilala natin ang isang premyadong manunulat who wrote her debut novel in her 50s and then won the Epigram Books Fiction Prize in 2022. In this beautiful and triumphant way, she reminds us that it's never too late to follow a dream. Na kahit matagal na itong nakatago, may tamang panahon para ito'y mamumulaklak. From finding her voice through storytelling to turning her stories into award-winning fiction, she shows us that passion and purpose don't have to retire. Instead, they can grow deeper with every chapter lived. Whether through literature, community work, or nurturing the next generation, hers is a journey that reminds us that a new life chapter can be written at any age, and each step forward is a story worth telling. Kaya't huwag kayong aalis. Sa hapong ito, samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan para kilalanin ang award-winning Malaysian fiction writer na si Karina Robles Bahrin. Dito lamang sa Art to Art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Nandito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama natin sa hapong ito, prize-winning novelist Karina Robles Bahrin. Good afternoon, Karina.
Good afternoon.
And
Thank you
welcome,
for having me.
welcome to our program. Welcome to Art to Art.
Thank you for having
I know
me.
it's your first time here on our program, and I just have to say your story is so inspiring. Thank you very much. But you are often described as eclectic, so your background is like eclectic, growing up with a Malaysian father and a Filipino mother in Petaling Jaya.
Yes.
How did this multicultural identity shape your childhood and worldview?
I think some of it came through actually in my novel. So because in Malaysia, I was born to a Malay father, which means that constitutionally I'm defined as Malay and Muslim. You know, there's no kind of two ways about it. But because I have a mother who was born and raised Catholic and only became a Muslim when she married my dad, obviously there was some influences from her culture, you know, as I was growing up. So I always felt like I was someone in between two worlds. I still do. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I'm also an accidental Malay.
Okay. Yeah, well, could you share some of the stories, traditions, or values your mother passed down from her Filipino heritage? Or do you feel that this influence shows up in your writing? You already said that you have mentioned some of these in your book, yes?
Yeah, so, I mean, for example, my book is about a Chinese woman who discovers she's Malay, and then she has to grapple with that new identity
Mm-hmm.
because there is some legal and social impact if you're living in Malaysia
Mm-hmm.
and you're suddenly defined as Muslim as opposed to non-Muslim.
Yeah.
So I think for me that was and continues to be a big part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's name, for example, is not part of my legal identity.
I see.
Right, so
Mm-hmm.
in Malaysia, there's no Robles in my name.
I see.
So when I wrote the book, I
Mm-hmm.
decided to use her name as my middle name
Mm-hmm.
because for me that was a way of kind of reclaiming that.
Yes, that's
yeah,
right.
and
That's
sort
right.
of just acknowledging my mother
Mm-hmm.
because culturally here there is no acknowledgement of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in
Okay.
that sense.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But have you ever been to the Philippines?
Yeah, loads of times.
Lots of times. Okay.
I want to partially live there.
So you are connected with your Filipino relatives,
Yes,
your
we
mother's
have a
side of the family.
Huge family.
Yes,
So my mother is
uh-huh.
the youngest of 16.
16.
Yes, and she's the only surviving sibling left now.
Wow.
So now she tells
Okay.
everybody, I am now the matriarch.
Uh-huh.
She's waited a long time to get there, but yeah.
So you have many Filipino cousins with their own families
Yes,
as
loads.
well? Loads, yeah.
So a few years ago, we celebrated my mother's 80th birthday and we decided to do it in Manila. We had to rent a hall. It was
That's-
like planning a wedding.
Yes, that's very Filipino.
Yeah, I mean, this is a few hundred people.
Uh-huh.
It's not
That must have been so much fun.
a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. So we had a rondalia. We had,
Uh-huh.
the kids were playing with the pabit and
Yes,
all
yes.
that. We
Uh-huh,
just did all that.
Okay, okay. How did your parents meet?
Oh, they met in New Delhi.
Uh,
So my parents are both academics,
Uh-huh.
right, by profession, and I think they met at a conference. And in
Okay.
those days, we didn't have email, even not
Hmm.
even no. So do you remember what aerograms are?
Of course.
Yeah,
yes.
those letters that you fold and
Uh-huh,
glue.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so
it's one page
yes,
and you
one.
write it
It's,
at
yes.
the
So they
uh-huh.
used to do that, I think, for a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
And then as the story goes, my dad finally got fed up and one day and he went to the Philippines
Uh-huh.
and told my mother, it's either you come marry me
Uh-huh.
or we're no longer friends.
Oh,
Friends
ultimatum.
was the word. Yeah, and he didn't even have a wedding ring.
Okay. He
So
didn't
to
have
borrow
an
his friend.
engagement ring?
No, he borrowed his friend's ring.
Okay, all right.
And then they had a civil ceremony. So my mom's
In the
parents
Philippines?
Yeah, my mom's parents had already passed on by that time. She lost them quite early. So they had a civil ceremony in the Philippines. And then when they came back to Malaysia, there was a bit of a problem because, my father had just had a civil marriage, which would not really be recognized in Malaysia because he's Muslim. He needed to have a Muslim marriage with a
Oh, I
Muslim
see.
woman.
I see. Okay.
So then they had to get married again.
Uh-huh.
So they got married twice.
All right. Well, great story. But so when did you discover your joy of storytelling?
I think I grew up with stories. I used to be read to when I was little, at bedtime, and then we always had books. So my parents are big readers. And I think my mother was a little bit enthusiastic when I was born. She tells me that she tried to enroll me for ballet and piano when I was 2. Never happened, of course, because she got rejected.
Well, 2 is a bit early for
Yeah,
ballet.
yeah, well, for anything,
Yeah. Okay.
But I remember she had already procured, in those days you could buy sets of books, all the classics, and they're always either cloth or leather bound. So
Yes.
she would keep them in this cupboard, right? And I could never reach them when I was little. So I grew up aspiring to be able to, 1, be allowed to read, 2, be allowed to reach.
Reach the books.
Literally
Yeah.
reach, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's where it came from.
Okay.
And I continue to be a big reader. My sister's also one.
Okay. But you were already writing short fiction early on. But you did not dive into creative writing as a profession right away.
Yes, because I don't like being hungry. So growing
It's a
up,
very practical answer.
yeah, there's
very
still
practical.
I'm still Asian. I mean, I grew up saying I want to be a writer. Then my dad's like, oh, okay, maybe you can be a journalist. So I ended up going to university and taking up a degree in international relations because Dad says, well, if you're going to be a writer, you better learn something so you have something to say.
Yes. Okay.
I did that. But then when I came back, I realized journalists don't earn very much money either.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, not doing that. So I went into corporate communications. So for 20 odd years, I was doing that. And then in the meantime, on the side, I would dabble and write, fiction. So my novel, I finally wrote during COVID.
Okay.
This is a COVID
all right.
baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did your 20-year career in corporate communications play a role in honing your writing voice?
I think it taught me not to be precious about it. Because when you're doing corporate communications, you're writing on behalf of other people. So it's constantly being edited. So creatively, I take that across.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's easier for me than I think some other writers to accept edits and feedback because I'm just so used to it. Yeah.
I can relate to that as a choreographer.
Yeah. So,
So at what moment did you decide to move from corporate life to writing your first novel? Was it the pandemic?
no, so I actually there's a step in between. So I came out of corporate life and I moved to Langkawi, which is a tourist island in the northern part of the country, because I wanted to get off the hamster wheel.
I
I
see.
thought, okay, I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay.
Plus, I'd reached a point in my career where my last posting was with the stock exchange here in Malaysia. I was heading the communications team. So I said, okay, where do I go from here? The Ministry of Finance, Central Bank, Prime Minister's office? No, I don't want to do any of those.
Okay.
They were very appealing paths for me. So I said, okay, let's get off the wheel.
Yeah.
And I decided to move to Langkawi and become a small business owner. So I now run a small 12-bedroom hotel and restaurant. And we have a little farm.
In Langkawi.
Yes. So I did that. And part of the reason I did that was I thought, oh, then I can write.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that was
that's
really
right.
silly and naive because when you're starting a small business, it's like having 7 children.
Exactly.
So
you
there
don't
was
have
no
the
writing.
time. There was no writing.
No writing happened. And then the pandemic happened. And of course, tourism completely died, right, for a while.
That's right.
And I thought, okay, other people, I can see them on YouTube and stuff, and they're cooking, they're knitting, they're, I don't know, doing what. It's like, I think I'm finally going to write my book because if I never do this, I've fallen out of excuses, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
So was there that moment where you said, I must write now. I'm going to sit down and just start writing.
Yes.
There was that moment.
I said, okay, this is when I will do it. Because if I don't do it now, when the entire world is standing still, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's when I finally did it.
Fantastic. And congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll talk about your novel after the break. Yeah. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang premyadong manunulat na si Karina Robles Bahrin. Dito pa rin sa Art to Art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos na ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art to Art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa musika, inihahandog ng Philippine-Italian Association kasama ang Manila Symphony Orchestra ang Filipino-Italian Chamber Music Concert sa October 16, alas 7 ng gabi sa Asia Pacific College Auditorium na matatagpuan sa No. 3 Humabon Place, Magallanes, Makati City. Tutugtugin ang mga piyesa ng respetadong composers tulad nina Nicanor Abelardo, Antonio Molina, Antonino Buenaventura, Antonio Vivaldi, Tommaso Albinoni at Gioacchino Rossini sa pangunguna ni Maestro Eliseo Benvenuti, Violin 1. Ang concert ay magtatampok din kina Alfonso Encina, Violin 2, Sara Gonzalez, Viola, Arnold Joshua, cello, Lawrence Palad, bass, at Mariel Ilesorio, piano. Patuloy pa ring itinatanghal ng Double Pentagon Concerts at Yamaha Music Green Hills ang Beethoven 2025, isang concert series na nakatuon sa mga obra ni Ludwig van Beethoven, na kinikilalang isa sa pinakamagaling na composer sa kasaysayan ng musika. Ang concert number 16 ng naturang serye ay itatanghal sa October 18, alas 6 ng gabi sa Yamaha Music Green Hills LGI Building, Ortigas Avenue, San Juan City. Tampok sina Legion Villanueva at Juan Inigo Abanilla sa pagtugtog ng Piano Sonata No. 15 in D Major, Opus 28, Pastoral, at Piano Sonata No. 17 in D Minor, Opus 31, No. 2, Tempest. Sa Sining Beswal, magbubukas sa October 18 ang exhibit na pinamagatang To Carry More Than Air sa Galleria Duemila na matatagpuan sa 210 Loring Street, Pasay City. Tinatalakay ng exhibit ang konsepto ng paghinga na masasabing pinakamahalagang gawain ng tao. Tampok ang mga obra ni na Ali Garibay, Christopher Zamora, Gwen Decena, John Ray Liege, Jelly Jimenez, Joen Sudlon, Jomar Galutera, Limuel Bautista, Lynn Patricio, at Renz Baluyot. Makikita ang exhibit hanggang November 22.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa!
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit-mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon!
All you need is pride. All you need is pride.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Andito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama pa rin natin ang award-winning fiction writer na si Karina Robles Bahrin. Karina, your debut novel, The Accidental Malay, grapples with personal identity and belonging. Can you tell us a little more about this novel and what inspired you to frame these issues through the story of one woman's journey?
Well, what inspired me was my own life. Like I said earlier, because I've always lived with this dual identity, and I've always found the way that we defined what is Malay in our country sort of problematic at the individual level. So I wanted to depict that. How something that is a policy can actually have very deep impact on a person's life. But I didn't want to write the story about my life. So I came up with this idea instead, which is to write a story about a Malaysian Chinese woman who discovers, that she's Malay. And of course, to heighten the dramatic impact, I also made her the heir of a very unhalal company.
Okay.
So that makes it worse, right? Because her
Yeah.
company sells pork.
Yeah.
Pork jerky.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So winning the Epigram Books Fiction Prize and then later being listed on Forbes, 50 over 50 Asian women must have been incredible milestones for you.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
I submitted to the Epigram Prize because I knew from the outset that trying to get this book out through to the Western world would be difficult. Because I always say that the Western world, despite the fact that they talk about wanting diversity and inclusivity and things like that, I feel there's still a lot of gatekeeping. For example, I always say, okay, if you want to get a Japanese novel published by the white publishing world, it's easier if it has a geisha in it or the World War or the Japanese. With Malaysia, it's three things for me. It's ghosts, the colonial times, or World War II. And my book had none of this. It's a contemporary, story. So I decided then to go through an Asian route. and the epigram prize was available, so I submitted for that. And when I won it, I was really happy.
Yes.
It has since now. So this is also the way things work, right?
Yeah.
Because it won the prize and because it's gotten some attention in Malaysia, it then got on-sold to Picador in the UK, and it's now also available in the US. So like they wait for it to be proven before they want to take it on.
Yeah, okay. But what do these recognitions mean to you personally and professionally? I mean, are you now pressured to publish more?
No, because I'm not under contract.
Okay.
And I like that. So I think, especially since I'm published now, only in my 50s, I'm quite determined that writing remains what I would refer to as a vocation instead of a career. So it's something I want to do out of joy, not out of need or pressure. So I can take my time.
Of course, of course.
I can take my time.
I mean, and you've described yourself as a mixed race queer writer navigating Malaysia's societal structures. So how do your personal values and advocacies, particularly about race, gender, and equality, filter into your writing?
I think a lot of my writing actually is very female-centric. That's one. In this book itself, I also have her best friend, who's also her cousin, is queer. So things like that come through. And I think some of the other stories I write may address, one or two of those things more directly as well.
Yeah.
So it depends. But that's why I like writing, right?
Yeah.
It's because through that, I can actually explore the different aspects of what is important to me.
Yes,
In
yes.
terms of my values and who I
basically,
am.
you can be yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, aside from writing, you also run a boutique resort on Langkawi Island. So
Yeah.
how does your daily life there feed your creativity?
Sometimes it doesn't. Because you're busy putting out fires.
Yeah.
And if you're owner operator of a small place, you're very hands-on.
Yes, of
So
course.
your day could involve
course.
anything from the usual kind of checking people in and stuff, or dealing with a plumbing issue, or trying to herd cows off your garden. There was one day when a cow fell in the swimming pool.
Aww.
So things like that. How are monkeys jumping on the roof. So yeah, I don't have a standard day because I wake up and I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, it must be really exciting.
On some days.
On some-
Yeah, on some days. I'm very thankful when it's not. I like when it's boring.
Okay. Okay.
Because, then there's no weird things I have to deal with. But, being in a resort, and because we also run a restaurant, of course you come into contact with people from all walks of life and
Yes,
from
yes.
all over the world.
Yes.
And
that's material for your next book?
Exactly. Exactly. I always tell people, be careful what you tell me.
Exactly. Do they have to sign a waiver?
No. I mean, they decide to tell me voluntarily.
Okay. All right. Well, so tell us about
Suatu Kala.
Suatu Kala. Yes, it's the community initiative you co-founded to promote storytelling.
Yes, so Suatu Kala in Malay means once upon a time.
Ah,
That's
okay.
what every Malay story starts with. Suatu Kala dahulu, so once upon a time.
I see.
So that's where the name is. It was actually co-founded by me and two other friends. Two of us founders live in Langkawi and one lives in KL, and she's a film producer, and I'm a writer, and this other friend of mine is just a lover of anything that's the arts. She's also a singer and musician. We wanted to do something initially in Langkawi to teach or empower kids to tell their own stories.
I see.
Because I find that in Langkawi, culturally, there's a bit of a void. And also the Malaysian education system does not invest a lot in the arts. arts education.
Okay.
So what we started doing was bridging that gap by bringing amateurs and professionals from Kuala Lumpur, so the big city, whether they're photographers or filmmakers or poets, whatever, getting them to come to Langkawi and do workshops and interact with the kids. And we've been doing that now for almost 10 years. We've even done a theater competition with theater professionals who put these kids through boot camps. So we teach them elements of storytelling.
Yeah.
They go through a pitching process like Idol, and then they have to develop their own plays and perform them live. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, with everything that you've done, do you see yourself staying within the creative fiction world?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people this is my one hobby I can do till I have dementia. But then again, I might still do it, and then God knows what's going to come out.
Even with, yes.
Yes,
even-
right? I mean, it might be
But-
more interesting.
After the success of The Accidental Malay, do you have any plans to visit the Philippines and perhaps bring your books to readers over there?
Yeah, actually, I need to. It might be distributed there now. I don't know because Picador from the UK distributes worldwide. Epigram. The issue with Epigram was because it's Singapore based. Their distribution was very limited to, I think, Singapore, Brunei, and Malaysia. But Picador has allowed the book to be worldwide now. Yeah, I can always take it there. At one point, though, I would like to write a story that is a little bit more Filipino-centric.
More Filipino.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll have to come to the Philippines to do your research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing that I've realized, through my writing, I can actually do other things. So
Exactly,
in
yeah.
October, I'm going to Japan for 5 weeks as part of the Kyoto Writers Residency. And because I love Japan, I was realized, I get to do research paid for.
Yes, yes. And your next novel could be about Japan.
There will be a Japanese character in it. So it's
There will
actually
be a
quite nice. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. So do you already have the plot?
It is a story that is it's dual timeline, meaning past and present, but it is a story centered on 3 characters: the Twin Towers and the '97 financial crisis.
Wow. Okay, when can we...
I don't know. I'm not started. I'm
when can we
starting.
expect that to come out?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know what people don't realize is after you finish the book, the time it takes to even find an agent or a publisher, God knows how long that'll take. But the minute you sign with a publisher, it takes at least 2 years before the book actually hits the shelves, because they take that long to produce it, to design it, to do the editing, etc.
I
So for a few more years.
Oh, okay. Okay, but we're going to wait for The Accidental
This
Malay
one?
to be available in the Philippines.
Yeah, I think she's also available online. The audiobook version is now also available.
And the ebook version
Yeah,
is downloadable
yeah.
as well.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right, that's my next read.
This one?
Yes. Do you have any favorite places in the Philippines that you visit regularly, or that you would like to visit or discover?
In Manila, I like
Yeah.
Makati
Okay.
a lot. Where would I like to go? The Philippines has so many beautiful places. I've only been to very limited. I've been to Boracay, I've been to Bicol, of course Nueva Ecija, because that's where my mother's from. Actually, where I would like to go back to is Baguio.
Baguio.
Because I went there as a child. And Baguio culturally is quite an interesting place for artists and writers and things like that.
Yes.
And I know a poet actually who lives in Baguio, whom I met through one of the literary festivals. Great young poet. She lives there, so I'd like to go and visit her there.
You have to visit Dumaguete as well. Yeah, 'cause
okay.
that's like a center as well for. Anyway, well, Karina, thank you so much for making the time to sit with us this afternoon here in Malaysia. And of course, we wish you more success in all your projects and undertakings. And thank you for showing women of all ages that it's never too late to follow your dream.
Thank you for having me.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art to Art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Macuja Elizalde, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.